Sarah Christie has faced melanoma and survived, and she's doing all she can to prevent it happening again. One tool for detection is mole mapping, a system that takes detailed photographs of moles. The records are then stored in the computer and compared after each subsequent visit.
Now what we will do is go through from head to toe, targeting specific ones. Now have a look with the little derm light here. Okay, so I'll be looking at your skin like so. Okay, and then when I image, I'll take a macroscopic image where the camera's placed on your skin like so. So we'll have a look at your face here.
For Sarah, when combined with regular self-examination and specialist visits, mole map adds another dimension for melanoma detection.
That's good. So have you had a look through your scalp? Nothing in your scalp that resembles a mole or a freckle?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, good idea. Every time you go to the hairdresser, get them to keep an eye out for anything that looks like a mole or a freckle. Get your partner to check with a hairdryer. Good to have a look through your scalp when your hair's dry with a hairdryer for anything that resembles a mole or a freckle. A melanoma can appear as a new mole, okay, or it can appear in an already existing mole. Okay, now anything under your watch that looks like a mole or a freckle? Okay, that's it, in the back of your hand there. Holding your hand out like so, yeah. Now melanoma can also appear in your nail bed, can look a bit like a blood blister growing out. So if you see that and you know it's not an injury, then get someone to take a look.
Which is why it is so important to be vigilant. Because although melanoma is the most vicious killer of all the skin cancers, if caught early enough, it need not be fatal.
One key thing about prognosis with melanoma, the vast majority of people that come and see me are terrified because they have a diagnosis that they have melanoma. And as soon as that diagnosis is made from having a skin lesion removed, the majority of people immediately think I'm done for and there's no hope, which is not the case at all. By far the majority of melanomas are thin, less than 1 millimetre thick, and the vast majority of people can be cured with a simple excision under local anaesthetic.
Tilting your chin forward, that's it.
But if a melanoma is allowed to grow, in just a few weeks it can expand to a fatal thickness.
The issue with thickness, it's very important. It's well established that thickness of melanoma is the single most important prognostic factor. And just considering that, if you consider a pad of paper, if your melanoma is the thickness of a few pieces of paper, you're probably going to be okay. If it's as thick as the cardboard on the back of your pad, or thick as 2 pieces of cardboard on the back of your pad, then it may well be a lethal problem.
If not lethal, then definitely life-changing. If the melanoma cells do metastasize and spread to your lymph glands, as with Jim Shaw's patient, standard procedure is to remove them before the cancer travels any further. This gruesome procedure is the result of a small scalp lesion hidden under the hair. Not somewhere many of us think to look, if we look at all. Today, the prognosis is optimistic. Jim Shaw is confident he has removed the cancer and the affected lymph nodes in time, leaving a nasty scar and a tough 5 years to wait to see if the melanoma recurs.
I think it'd be fair to say that there are more people taking notice than there were, say, 10 years ago or 20 years ago or longer. But is everyone closely monitoring their skin? No, they're not.
Sarah's melanoma was not picked up immediately and was only removed because it was irritating her bra strap, so that's made her very cautious.
If I'd come to you with my melanoma that didn't do any of the regular things, would you have called that on that screen?
Without having seen it, it's difficult to say, but...
strong chance you would have picked it up?
Strong chance, yes.
Finally, the lab tests are in, and Ed has flown to Wellington to give Sarah the results.
Hello.
Hi, what are you doing here?
All good. All good.
Good.
Let's
Oh,
head
come
on
in.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Oh, it's great coming in to tell me in person.
Well, it's the kind of thing you want to hear in person, isn't it?
Ed has a slight ulterior motive for dropping in on Sarah. The health hazard team are still worried by her exposure to the sun through athletics, and it seems there may be some grounds to his worry. Sarah's got a new sports interest.
This is the
windsurfer. Yeah.
Okay. So another sport in the sun.
Yeah, that's right. I've sort of my vision of myself on a windsurfer, but
Brilliant.
whether that will happen.
Hey,
or
so
not.
look, the main reason coming down here is to say all clear,
Thank
not a
you.
melanoma, so
Right.
brilliant. And it was similar to the last one, so now you know they're not all going to be melanomas.
That's the good guy act over. Now Ed has to get Sarah to confront her outdoor exposure.
So what time do you train? Do you train at 4 o'clock? Do you train at like 2 o'clock and 1 o'clock?
Usually 4 o'clock, so I have as much time.
So that's
between the
pretty good, yeah.
sessions. Yeah, it would be at 4. But actually, during the track season, a lot of the races are in the early afternoon, so peak sun.
So what do you do to protect yourself?
Just apply block.
Do you?
Yeah, thinking that was...
Well, you know, there is debate that it does work, but there's debate that says that maybe it isn't as successful as people think. You know, so there's a lot of argument still going on. It's like the old cell phone, you know, does it affect, does it not? You know, so you can't completely rely on that sunblock, eh?
That's scary when you talk about that.
Yeah.
Even something like the sunblock not working.
So what are you covering yourself in? The best one is clothes. You wear long sleeves when you run? In the
No,
afternoon?
never. No.
So you will now though, eh?
Don't. Yep.
She needs regular monitoring. I know she'll be doing that herself, but she needs someone else to check her skin at least on an annual basis, I would have thought. And then the issues of her children, family, I mean, there is an increased risk of them getting melanoma, and that needs to be attended to. Yeah.
The bit that shocked me, though, when I went down there and talked to her, she was still, you know, she's very concerned about melanoma, but she was still running in the daytime in the heat of the sun with short-sleeve shirts on. And
she chucks on block it, but the thing is, you know, you can buy water-resistant blocks, and I mean, I know I've actually been out running for, you know, a couple of hours, and I come back and I've had 30 plus on, and I've got a tan through it, so I know that it's not blocking it all out.
plus that vitamin D thing, you know, sun is good. Just run at another time, you know, just too bad. You've got a life-threatening disease, and I think she's doing that now, but that's important. You know, don't run at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
If she avoids running between sort of 10 and 2 and goes the other times, it's going to be a lot more sensible for her. So, you know, early morning, you know, late afternoon, evening are the better times for her.
And it's not that she didn't know that. She just didn't, or she did, not that she doesn't, not able to do that now. It's just she didn't realise how important it was. So she's still learning. You know, these are, you know, when they say a little message from the Cancer Society, avoid sun, you know, avoid the friggin' sun during those times. And that's what she's had to change and keep changing.
And over the last weeks, it's not just Sarah who's learned something.
When we cut that melanoma out, 5 minutes later, the entire crew of health hazard, camera people and producers were showing everyone every spot on their back. We went into a melanoma frenzy. And we've all had a couple of things cut out since then. And so, you know, there it is. It's real.
I would have had 3 months to 5 years to live. Yeah, so I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones that they got rid of it as fast as they did. And yeah, it's still here.